Good morning. It's nice and early on the day before my birthday. So I've come in early because I've got lots happening today to change the program over and go through where we're up to with programming with the children. And so just really quickly, during the week we created snow because for Lachlan's show and tell, he went to the snow, so there's a little bit too much water in that snow at the moment, but to feel it is the consistency of slushy wet snow. And Lachlan had the dinosaurs on this mat over here, but when I asked him, how about we put them away, we've had them out for a long time, it's not really being used very much, he still didn't want to put them away. So our compromise was that he has some dinosaurs in his snow. Right next to Lockie's snow is James's big hole, because his family went out to the big hole, and this is James's show and tell that he did because he is so in love with the big hole right now and wants to find out more information about the big hole. So that's going on here. So I might just get a few more. Well, there's not many trees there. Might just get a scattering of little branches and a couple of stones to put in there, because I can see some stones in those big holes. And might zhuzh up Janelle and Bianca's home corner over here. Bianca wanted a little doorway here, so we put this curtain up to define a difference between the kitchen area over there and this space over here, which has now become like a picnic area, so they do their food preparation and bring it out to the picnic area. And I wasn't quite tall enough to put it up properly, so Bianca's dad John came in and fixed that for me on Friday, which was fantastic. So I'll set that area up first. So here's the area so far. I actually added the little gumnut twins to the area last week, and this is how we had the picnic area set up last week, minus that block and the bunch of flowers that I've added to it today. I've also removed this lamp from the area because it really wasn't working that well. The children were playing with it during rest time because I could hear the clicking of the switch, so we might pop that in a safer spot. Also here we've got the addition of the rug over the table, making it feel a bit outdoorsy, a bit picnicky, so that they can do their food preparation in this space. I think I'll talk to them next week about adding a little bit more food for their picnic space, making sure that everyone's got enough food to eat on the picnic. But now we'll have a look at the paper recycling area. So I've moved the stove simply so that I could find a space for this blue recycling bin, because it was always sort of floating around a little bit, and I hope it works there. But there's a little mat there to catch any excess water that comes out of the paper recycling process. But we'll keep doing that until everybody's had the chance of making one. So we'll get to that. So Rupert was telling me this beautiful story at rest time the other day about an episode of Ben and Holly where a shooting star landed on Earth, but it turned out it was full of aliens. And so when I said to him, can I put the space station away? Do you think we're finished with it? Because, we post it sometimes, but not all the time. He said no. So I spoke to Charlie on Friday about my little dilemma, because I thought, they're going to play there randomly, and I really want to put something else over here. And he said, well, they did play with that so much better when it was on the floor anyway. So I spoke to Charlie about my idea of moving the table onto the mat. But, I woke up this morning thinking, why don't I just put the drawing on that table and the space station on these little tables and around on the mat? Because it'll go with what, it'll go with what Rupert set up on Friday with these little alien looking objects here. So it should all blend nicely. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I took the fairy picture down from there and put it over in the picnic, which I'll show you in a minute. But the Space Centre's kind of ready to go. We'll see how the children play with it. They may need a bit of this floor space out here as well. So that's all ready to go. The floor space over here is also in competition with the monster truck space that they want to continue on with as well, because they like bringing their own little cars from home and setting up obstacle courses that can make their cars go as fast as possible. So we'll keep working on that with them, and I might find here it is, a little plank to add over there this week. And yeah, we'll just see how we can look at velocity and speed. I think that might be a nice little project for Charlie, because he was starting to talk about, why the rear spoilers were on the backs of the cars and what kind of impact that has on the speed of the car. So that might be an awesome project for you, Charlie. I'm going to keep this space as our cozy cushion collection space, but those plugs have been drawing Nathan's attention a lot, and so I'm going to try and find something to make them disappear. So I found this tree to put in front of there, but then I just realised it's really cute because it looks like the koala sitting on top of the tree. So because I've moved the space station over to the drawing area, I'm going to pop the drawing over here in this area, and I've been really inspired by Jing's work with the children, showing the children what the Chinese characters look like and how they sound. And so I'm going to work with Maranjindi's Wurundjeri language that he gave us last year and gave us permission to use, showing them how to write the word for sun, or it's really the symbol for sun and star, moon and all the rest, and talking about how special it is that we're able to use this language, and it's to be respected because it's one of the, it's the oldest language from this part of the land where we are, and talk about Maranjindi's visit coming up in September as well. So I've decided to take the planets down because I'm going to put up here this amazing Bunjil the Eagle painting that Razzie and I got the children to do last year. I got them to do the green bit before school holidays, and then before my leave, and then whoosh, I was gone like Bunjil the Eagle overseas, and Razzie and Allah kindly finished it off for us. So I'm planning to keep the planets in these plastic bags in here, but I'm going to clean up the other side before I leave today, so there's space for them, because I want Rupert to decide, with some of his friends, because Joshua also helped him to refurbish Aries, to look at what planets look like in the books, and to decide whether, last year we actually painted the right colours, have the right asteroid belts around them, so forth. We'll see how we go. So we've got book week coming up in 3 weeks. Now I understand, book week's about books, but the Aboriginals, with their storytelling and their conveying of their culture, everything was verbal, and I'd love to incorporate the Bunjil the Eagle story into Book Week as an equal part, as well as all of the books being celebrated by Book Week. So I made these this year, but these are just like A4 size, and they're so beautiful, and it shows how special Aboriginal art is. It's got our words here, Australian Aboriginal art. But for this table, celebrating the Wurundjeri symbols, I've found these old bats I made last year. Now I've only got 2 left because they get worn quite quickly, so I'll have to make some more over the week. But it, shows that beautiful connection to earth and Mother Country, and there's symbols next to it. You know, and if any of the parents came up to read it, they would see these beautiful words as well. So let's encourage the parents in through the door and to look to find something to settle their children at for the day before they leave this week, so that, you know, they get a chance to see our connection to the Wurundjeri people and how special they are, and hopefully more of the parents will come to see Murrindindi in September. So I'd really like to make that our goal with the parents leading up into September. So here it is. I've got a little imaginative setup in the middle and some indigenous sort of colours around the table with the pencils, the yellow, orange, the black, the brown and the red. And I've got some of the symbols from the Wurundjeri language painted on these stones. And it's still wet, but it shouldn't be still wet by Monday. But I'm thinking about putting her on a little tan bark, a little nice covering of tan bark underneath her to sit on, because we won't really be using this table for morning tea or lunch or anything. So I'm thinking about maybe that. In the process of setting up that, I had to move the stick insects around, and actually I was thinking, Jingy, as creeped out as I am by them, and I'm trying not to be, I'm trying to be very, very, very brave. I thought, when I saw you get them out, I think it was this week or last week, but no, it was this week with Hugo. I thought, oh, you know, we should be doing that more often. We should have, you know, perhaps a set time in the day that we do get them out. And, you know, maybe it is when the children are having their progressive morning tea, because they're more mature now and they're more able to make better decisions about how much they're putting on their plate, and their friends can keep an eye on them as well. They do, because they tell me about each other when I sort of give them a bit more independence there. I think I'd love to see the stick insects coming out at that time, and I'm going to try to be really, really brave, and I'm going to try and get close to one, not let it on my body, but I'm going to try and get close to one for at least 5 seconds. So I'm going to try really hard to do that. So I'll pop a few more chairs around there, and maybe, I don't know, think about how else we can sort of change that area so it's a bit more stick insecty or something around that. Yeah, have a think about that area for me. Okay, so I've popped a little nice soft covering on the floor over there to make it feel more comfortable for me to go near the stick insects when I come over and attempt to be near them. I've popped 3 chairs here by the books because on Friday Hugo decided that he wanted the puzzles on this mat. He really wanted them to be a central focus of what we were doing for him, and so my deal was, as long as he put the puzzles back together and we can put them away, and next week I'm hoping he's in on Monday. If not, I'll just pop some temporary puzzles there. And so the first day he's in next week, he can choose the puzzles that he wants to have on there and then switch them over as he's feeling inspired and motivated and he needs a change. I put those stairs in there, but they're using them to climb on and peek through there and call out their friends. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do about that yet. That's not staying there. But yeah, I'll have a look and see if he's in on Monday. I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but these chairs for the book corner were placed here so that they're multi-purposeful. So when the stick insects are coming out, they can be turned around and gathered together, and a new little community space could be created over here. So I've moved the painting easel from here to over into this space here, and there's 1, 2 little waiting chairs next to it. As I'm tinkering with the rest of the room, I will be inspired by what to put here. Now these are our wheat berries outside. I was going to tip them out, put new wheat berries in, let them grow, and then get the children to spray with the spray bottle to keep them alive without them stinking the room out. But I thought, as terrible as it is, there's an absolute wonderful teaching experience in this, so that I will encourage the children not to put their noses too close to the smelly seeds, but just to sniff them carefully to see that the seeds do go putrid if they're sitting in water. We're going to redo the seeds and line them up along the top of the bookshelf over there. So last week during group time, I spoke to the children about these names, and everybody has a name in here. And I said, you know, if you're halfway through a drawing or a puzzle or a painting or you're at the listening post and you need to go to the toilet, because we've had a couple of toilet accidents here and there, come and get your name, put your name where you're working, and then go to the toilet, and then everybody knows to leave that space for you when you come back. And so Charlie suggested that we put the elephants up here because the projector's going away, so there it is. So the children asked me, particularly Nathan and Annabelle, if we could do collage on the table, and they kept saying, no, we're using that table for this and for that, and there were other projects that I needed to move forward before the other children lost momentum. But particularly for Annabelle and Nathan, we're going to have box collage on this table next week. So here's the collage area. I've put the glue, the masking tape, sticky tape, and a couple of suggestions like the box and the bottles, half bottle, out. And I'll see how they go. See whether, when I talk to them, how they're feeling about using scissors, and just asking them what they can remember about the safety of scissors before I get them out. So checking in with them. I haven't got any chairs here. I want this to be a standing space because, sometimes different people need to walk in order to think and process and be creative. So I just wanted to make that space available to them. And on this last table, I've got the morning tea cutting up space, because I'm finding that, cutting it up at the table allows Caitlin to come over and feel the cores of the different kinds of fruits, and sometimes she'll taste them, but it's great because the children understand not to come over and interrupt her exploration that she's been doing with that. So it's been interesting to watch her squish the pears and find the seeds and identify where the core is, and occasionally she might even take a bite as well, which is okay as long as she knows not to be eating the seeds, because they say apple seeds contain arsenic, so I'm sure it's a very low dose, but we don't want to have any of that around. So here at the end of that table, instead of the vessels with water, I've got Rivets planets ready for repair before we put them away. The sun, I thought, would be the most appropriate one to start with. So I'll talk to the children on Monday about who wants to have a go at it. It doesn't necessarily have to be Rupert, but I think it's important that he stays feeling like he's still in charge of that project. And I think that is it. I think we're finally done. Just have to put the letter away, and then I'll do a final zhuzh. Oh, I forgot to say that I decided to put texters at the easel for a little while, and we'll see how we go with the painting. And the signing in station is still here. I've taken the tissues away and popped that little lamp there, but we just need to find a new globe for that one. And there are the rest of the planets for zhuzhing. Hopefully we can, hopefully we can make some moons as well as asteroid belts, the rings around. And just a final look. I've got the tunnels out now, those big pipes. I'm not sure if I showed you the netting I put over the listening post area just to make it a little bit more cozy and intimate. And with the Tidlick the Frog story happening in there, there's Tidlick the Frog, and I thought, seeing as there's two green colour splashes at the top, I put the silver colour splashes at the bottom, not necessarily that they need to use those. This is the same. There you've got that beautiful fairy print behind the little picnic area. And I noticed James was saying he wanted to go down into the hole, in the big hole. He's put people down into the big hole, which is really sweet. And I think we've covered everything else. I have changed this table a little bit. I found some beautiful Mozart art bits and pieces to put around her, but now I'm feeling like her bottom's prickly, so I'm going to have to find a nice little soft piece of material for her to sit on next week. But that's it, and I'm heading home. Where are we? Ta-da! Not that long today, which is great. See you next week, everyone. Bye! And I nearly forgot, if you can promote the August family reading month to the parents, it doesn't necessarily need to be the parents, it can be the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, or the special friend from next door that the parents think would like to come and read. Just that the more significant adults within the children's worlds that they see, I'm not even looking what I feel when I'm talking, the more significant adults they see reading, the more important a skill they feel it is to acquire, and they will try harder to recognise letters and things like that. Sorry, now focusing on the dirty sink. I'll put those scissors away next week. They belong outside. Here's our new reflection journal. It's not new really. It's a new cover for the book we started at the start of the year for our communication. So we'll keep using that. I will put these away next week. They just need to be cleaned. I've been noticing bits and pieces of things that have been put away that just need to be sorted. And I'll sort those out next week as well. I didn't have time to put those resources away from the last program. I turned off the lights to go, and I noticed how beautiful these lights are in the dark. We'll have to make sure we keep them on for rest time. This is one over there, and these lights are turned on up here.